So this is a question from Sister Hasna, who is asking, can you clarify the idea that women should obey their husbands? What is true and what is not true?
So the first thing is that that the believers, men and women, that they are partners of each other, right? That this is emphasized in Surah Al-Hujurat, ayat 13, that men and women, they are the partners of each other. The Prophet ﷺ said in his last sermon, which meant, let me leave you with this, don't forget this, that they are your twin halves. You have rights over them and they have rights over you. And so this concept of obedience, let me say this. The first thing is it's about, it depends on what sector. Who knows best when? Meaning that inside of a family, inside of a marriage, someone has to be the final decision maker who's going to be responsible for and accountable for that final decision maker. Now, most times that's a shared responsibility, meaning that if I know more about, and it might be the woman, I'm saying in this case, if I know more about finances and financial planning and budgeting and things like that, then I'm going to take the lead on that. And we have many women in our community that many households where women run actually the finances. It's a very famous Arab saying that they call the women the minister of the interior, right? The interior minister. And so you have many women who are running that. And so that's basically somebody has to take the lead on it. But when it comes to the concept of other things, for example, her protection or her care, it's something that men are meant to have a leadership over her protection or the protection over his family for the way that Allah made him, created him to be. So if a man were to say, you know what, I've been in this community or I've been in this place and I don't feel like it's safe, I find it best, please do not go to this community, right? Or don't go to this place. Don't go to this place at night, right? It's not safe. So if she were to decide, well, I'm not going to listen to him, who is he to tell me what to do? I'm a grown adult woman and I don't need to answer to him. So may Allah forbid, women are harmed in this country once every 13 minutes. And so what we understand is that the opportunity for her to be harmed in certain places is there. It exists, right? It exists. And who would be, in this case, who was meant to have who was meant to be the leader in that case in terms of protection? She should have her own. This is not to rob her of her own autonomy at all, right? Because what we have to recognize is who chose him to be the leader of her family? She did. The right of nikah, the right of the marriage, meaning who you choose to be your leader, that's it. That's on her. No one can force her to be married. No one can force her to choose him as a leader. The contract is in her hand. But once I give you certain leadership, I make you the imam of my household, right? I make you the leader of my household. Then it would be against your contract. It would be against the honor that you gave him. Then say, no, I'm going where I want to go. I don't answer to you, right? As opposed to, that's not a partnership. That's not a partnership. And so it's not so much about that disobedience. We have this word is so funny that in our time, obedience. But in reality is that a family without some level of structure, right, is not going to succeed. There has to be who's accountable for the decisions that are being made. That leadership is not just about, I tell you what to do. Leadership is about, I'm prepared to answer for, stand for, provide for whatever decisions that I make. And so, again, it's a give and take, right? And it's more or less about meaning I promise to communicate with you about aspects of my life. I promise to communicate to you, where I am, so that if anything were to happen, you would know where I am. You have a sense of safety, a sense of security. I promise to be in partnership with you, that I will not take my own decisions without us communicating with each other. I promise that I will be in collaboration with you, that I will not make decisions about my life or about our children's lives or our affairs as a household that then are going to possibly bring you into harm or you know nothing about. Right? That I'm not going to remove your position as a husband, to at least be informed, to at least collaborate, to at least give your opinion and your advice. Right? That in my decision to marry you, I'm saying that I trust that you have not only the type of skills, but the emotional intelligence to be the man of our family. Right? And so once I give you that trust, I don't just take it back because, if you wanted to be independent instead of interdependent, then marriage was not for you. So this case of being obedient is about, I promise to work as a team. A team member doesn't do something without the other team member, without the team captain knowing, right? Or without at least their involvement or their awareness. So it's really about, I promise to honor our relationship, right? That there's certain things you have over me and I have over you.